and Petroleum Engineering Department. So thank you. I'm thankful to the College of Graduate Studies and also the Chairman, Chemical and Petroleum Engineering Department, for giving me this opportunity to have this seminar. So in fact, everyone want to publish, or maybe you already have the experience to publish, but sometimes the students have some difficulties, or they are facing some problems, or maybe they already have the data, or maybe they already have planned to write a paper, but sometimes they are stuck in between, then they don't know how or where to end up. So this seminar, I have summarized some of my own experience throughout the years, how we can be a good writer, or maybe how we can publish in a high impact journals, that may be a review paper or research paper. So that is the today talk, what I am going to give you the guidance. So as you know, the writing a paper needs some specific techniques. Although you are a good writer, although you are a good researcher, but to publish, there are still there are something that you should have to have information. So okay, before I was joining to this UAU, I was working at University Technology Malaysia. This one is just near the Singapore. So this one has this is the main campus. It has the two campuses. One is in Kuala Lumpur, another is in Johor Bahru, that is the border of the Singapore. And this is our School of Chemical Energy Engineering. So this university has already ranked the Chemical Engineering Department 50 to 100 in the QS World ranking. So this one is just my past experience, based on which I can have the supervision of the several students. So for example, I have the supervised PhD almost the 14 students, and I have experience of master several students. So I have published several articles. Based on that, I just can have summarized some of the points. Maybe that would be useful for all of you, and maybe this seminar is not enough. Maybe we need hand-on workshop, another seminar when you have your draft is ready. But just I will highlight some of the points. So currently I am also working with the few journals. So one of them is the Energy and Environmental Materials. So one is the consider high impact factor journal. Its impact factor is 15.122. It's a Q1. It's a very fast journal. You can get your decision within 3 weeks. So means this is the one of the journal. If you have very good data, you have very good material, you can target the journal. So I'm also dealing with another journal, that is the special issues, that is the frontier and photocatalysis. So it also has the reasonable impact factor 4.4. So in this journal, if you want, any one of you want to publish, so even if you want to publish a review paper, still possible. It's very fast, and it's 100% guarantee you will get acceptance. So there is another journal. So this one is specifically on the carbon dioxide. You can also try these journals if you want to publish, as your degree is on hanging. It is a good journal. They have the Q1 journal, Q2 journals, and also they have the good impact factor. Okay, so what is my specific agenda for today, this seminar? So I just will give some motivations. So of course, research cannot be possible without motivation. So if you have the good motivation, you can only write and you can conduct your research. And then I will highlight some of the strategies, how we can write a paper. Then finally, I will discuss some of these strategies, how we can select a journal that can be considered high impact journal, and how we can say that journal is according to our topic. So this is the agenda for discussion today. So then maybe if we have time, I will discuss some of the actions before and after the submissions. Okay, so as you know, everyone want to publish. So this is the one of the important point is that everyone want to publish. But the problem is, when we are planning to publish, then we have to think why we want to publish, because the publication is the one of the criteria of your assessment. Means you want to get this was scientific, you want to do contribution in a way, you want to spread your knowledge to the others, or maybe you want to get your degree, master or PhD, Maybe you want to get some international recognitions. You want to promote, you want to get good jobs. So means there are several possibilities that can motivate you. You should have to publish. So once you think you have to publish, then you must have to focus where you are going to publish. Because the publication is not a game. Publication is very simple and easiest job. You can publish, everyone can publish. But problem is where to publish. So then you have to know when you want to plan to publish. So then you must have some specific criteria for publication. In that case, you should have to know your research performance is a publication. So once you are going to publish, you have to keep in mind this is your performance. Means this, it can helpful to give you the citation. So citation is one of the criteria of your high impact publication. Why you want to get citation? Because it is the measure of your research quality. So once you have the good research quality, you can lead other searchers. Mean you will be the pioneers, and you can other searchers can follow your work. If they follow your work, then they can cite your paper. If you just want to publish, maybe they just can put in dustbin, no one take care of you. So then when you want to look into the research performance, also you have to consider the H index. So because H index is one of the indicator that you are a good researcher or your research is very good. Or sometimes we consider I-10 index, but normally we consider the H index. And also more important here is the type of the publication. Someone is just adding your name to the other papers, or you are the first or a corresponding author. If you are the first or a corresponding author, that is really your contribution. If you just ask someone, your friends or some lecturer asked to other lecturer, just put your name, that is not real your contribution. So at the end, maybe you get few number of the papers, a few publications, but maybe you are not really contributing to the scientific community. So when we talk about the publication research performance, it means you should have your own original research. Either you have the review article or the technical paper, and then you can publish in a high quality journals. So means, for example, you can publish Web of Science, Scopus, Google Scholar, and non-Scopus. So this one is I can highlight here. So once you have planning for publication, you make sure you have to have some reasonable planning. Publication is nothing. As I told you, if you ask me to publish, I can publish maybe in 1 year, many papers, doesn't matter. But problem is when you want to focus quality or you want to focus on quantity. Quantity is not a big game. You can publish so many papers. So problem is the quality, because if you publish in quality, then you have the research performance, you will get citations, and then you have you become the international recognition. People will follow your search. So means you have to have the Web of Science, that is the number one and high quality work. Should you have to target Scopus acceptable. Usually I did not publish in Scopus, or just maybe sometime only few articles. Non-Scopus I never publish. Maybe unluckily I publish somewhere, and I never target the non-Scopus. So means minimum you should have to focus Scopus, but if you publish in Scopus, still not very good. Means it just is a quantity. Maybe you can target if you think, oh, you just need a paper. But first your target should be the Web of Science. Okay, these are the different type of the publishers. So you see here we just are talking about the type of the publication, but there are several publishers. So this is also the quality of the research. So for example, if you are going to select MDPI, IOP, these are the lowest quality research publishers. It means they just can publish. If you want to publish in Elsevier is reasonable, acceptable, it's a not so bad, you can publish. But if you want to publish in a very high good publisher, you can target ACS, American Chemical Society. You can target Nature, Royal Society of Chemistry. Also, you can target Wiley or Springer. So means the selection of the Q1, Q2, Web of Science, Scopus is not important. The publisher is also very, very important, because your quality of the research or your research performance depend on the publisher also. If you just publishing all of your paper in Elsevier, so you have limited your scope into just for the specific researchers. Maybe many of the researchers, they don't publish in Elsevier. They are publishing in ACS, Nature, others. So they don't take care of your search. So it means when you are going to target high quality publication, then the important point is you have to select the good publisher, means the highly ranked publisher. So now you see here, when you are going to select the publisher, at the same time, within the publisher, you have to consider the impact factor and also the quarter of the journal. So means you are going to publish in Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. For example, if you select a very good publisher and then you want to publish in Q1, so this is one, and then also the impact factor. So means these three have the interact together. So you should have to focus on the Q1. For example, here you select, oh, you want to publish in Q1, and here you want to select which publisher. Then when you select both, okay, Q1 and publisher, another is the which impact factor. This is you must have to make sure which impact factor, because impact factors start from 0.1, it goes more than 100, 150. So means when you talk about the quality and high impact publication, so means you have to play with these three, the parameter, the Q1, which Q1 to which impact factor and which publisher. If you just look one of them, for example, if you are going to publish in a Q1 journal and Q1 is the lowest impact factor, for example, impact factor is just the 0.1 or 0.2 or 1 or 2, and its publisher is also not very good. So means you avoid that publication, because you cannot get citation. So means all these pillars you must have to consider. So now we have some type of the papers we can publish as a structure. So everyone want to publish. So number one, for example, is the letter. Letter, you as a student may be quite difficult to publish, because letter usually senior researchers, but you can publish a review article. This review paper and the research paper, this both you can easily publish, but you should have to publish, not only easily publish. Every researcher when get their admission, or every professor, every the lecturer, as postdoc, they should have to publish. If they did not publish, that is not indicating that they are working very good. Maybe they are working very hard, but if there is no publication, means their outcome is zero. So means when you are getting any degree, you must have some CGPA. Similar to in our research community, if you have the publication, you are the good researcher. Maybe you are a good researcher. If you did not publish, maybe no one knows, or you are also there. So now this is very, very important here. So here you see the three type of the papers you have easily can be understand with this this figure. You see here, when you want to publish in a letter is short publication, means just few pages. Immediately you can publish, and at the same time immediately you can get your citation. It means just within 2 years of period, you can get highest of citation. Means very fast, and you can get citation. So it means yes, you write a letter to the journals and then you can publish. Its life is only 2 years. After 2 years, your citations are going to decrease. So it means letters are good to get immediate citation, but it's not a permanent solution. If you want to write the full length paper, so still is acceptable, because you can get citation 3 to 4 years. Means until 5 years, 5 to 6 years, still you can get some citation. But the maximum you can citation is only within the 3 years. So it means if you already published, some of you published the paper, but you are still waiting, you will get citation after 5 years, 10 years. No, everyone is looking into the latest development in the research community. So means another type of the publication, that is the review article. This is a very good option. So this can helpful for a long time of the getting the citation. So means it can, at least you can see here, the peak period is around the 6 year. So means if you publish one review article, you have to be relaxed until the 6th year, you will get the citation, because the citation is one of the indication that the papers like your research. But the review article did not reflect the actual research contribution. So you should write both the full paper, and as a starting point, you can also write the review paper. So both are the important you have to publish. So now you see, I just gave you one of the examples. So once your paper is published, you see here in this domain, these are all the review articles. So this professor, you can see his review articles are around the 600 or something citations. So it means if you write the review article, immediately you can, if you want to track back the performance of your papers, you have to monitor in a Scopus. Every time you monitor, go to the Scopus, your profile, and then every time you look into your number of publication and number of citations, And after that, you can look into your H index. If your H index is not increasing over these years, means your H index is moving like this one. Means you are increasing the number of publications and H index is not moving. So it means you have to look back to the research area, or maybe your search contribution, or maybe the quality of your publications. If your research H index is moving like this one, it's a fantastic, very good. So you are the genius researcher, you have very good contribution, and you have a lot of new contribution to the research community. So this is how we can observe our published papers and their performance through the Scopus. So this is very easy. You just can go to the Scopus, put your name there, then you can look into the performance. If you did not have any H index, so it means you have to look back to the research area, or maybe you look at the quality of the publication. I just gave you the one of the example. So you see in here, so you see here, this is the 2014. This is my start of the publications. You see here, over the years is the performance of the papers is going to be increased. So this is the citations of the publications. So I have to monitor my performance through the Google Scholar, through the Scopus. Then I also have to monitor the H index. Is it going to increase or still static? So means yes, it's not going to increase. It means my research would be like this one. Means I am not getting any citation. Just maybe I'm publishing a lot of paper, but there's no citation. If no citation, means you have to look back to the research, or you have to look back your performance, or you have to look back the scope of the research and the level of the publication. So this is one of the indicators. The researchers recognize you, and you internationally, they will know who you are. And also this is one of the job of the researcher to publish in the high quality journals. So you see here, this is the this is me. Sometimes you have to get motivation when you want to write. Because if you did not have the motivations, so you cannot write, because the writing publication is based on the motivation. So when I was at the UTM, still this is the recent the data I just got just yesterday. So in the UTM university, you see here you have the UTM smart system. So they monitor the researchers of all of the university researchers online. So we have to submit data there. So you see here, they consider only the first author paper or only the corresponding author. They consider only two type of the articles, and they consider only when the data is indexed in Web of Science. So the index in Web of Science, it takes few months to be available your paper there. So they consider only the two type of the publication. If you mean someone adding your name to the other papers, that is not first or corresponding author, they did not consider. So every time I got motivation when I see my name is among the top researcher. So every time I try my best, I should be the #1 researcher at my university at UTM. So sometimes I'm the #1, sometimes the #2, but still, you see, still the competition is there, because I have several papers still in the pipeline. So this is the profile of some of the researcher but the important is all they are the senior professors. They are the very senior professors. So I'm just competing with them. Okay. So now this is another important point for your motivation. So why you want to write the paper in a good journals, and why you want to write the review and experimental paper, because the motivation should be there when you want to write. So you look into here. This is a review paper we publish in ACS journals. So this is in the ACS. So once we publish in ACS, you see the publication date is June 15. So it was available online the June 15. So now you see there's only 2 months. You can see the article views 698. So means it's a tremendous. Means if someone is looking your article, that is the 698, just within the 2 months, you can imagine after 1 year or after 2 years, what should be the performance of this paper. So means this is a review article. It will get a lot of citation over these years. Maybe within the 6 months, it will be citation. Maybe you will see its approximately should be around 30 to 40. So means it's good number. Maybe 50 like this one, because every time the citation comes after the few months. Another is the experimental paper here. This is also an ACS publication. So you see this is the published in April 6. It's published on April 6. So you see here, so far is 263. It's also a good number of view, but if we can compare with the review paper, so the review paper just in 2 months, there is around 700, and the experimental paper in the maybe you can say the 4 or 5 months, 4 months is around is 3 to 4 months. You can say this one is around the 263. So I mean, this number is good, and also, but you can see if you write review article in a good journal and with a good topic, with the good novelty, you can get immediately a lot of citations. So this is the motivation you should have to write good journal, good topic in a good journals, and with the high quality. So this is another very good example for all of you. You see here, this paper we published 2015. This is a Scopus paper. That's why I say I have only the few Scopus paper. I never published Scopus paper. And so you see 2015, the citations are only 4. This paper, this we just published in a few months back. We published this in a few months back by this year 2021. This is a high impact factor paper, high good quality paper. Usually just is in 2021, within few months it got 12 citation. So means you see here, if in 6 years, almost 6 years, the citations are only 4. But within 1 to 2 months or 3 months, citations are 12. So this is why I encourage all of you. You don't waste your data. You improve your manuscript, improve your draft, and try to write in a good journal so that immediately you can get good citation. If you want to publish in Scopus, no citation. Non-Scopus, maybe just few citation. So now another important factor when you want to publish, what is the benefit? You can become the editor of the journals. You can become the reviewers. So once you are a good reviewer, you are the good author. So means the reviewer, when you review the paper from the journals, you can get a lot of information and the knowledge. And also you can know the recent development in that area. Also you can get, for example, the invited review article. Sometimes some of the journals, they invite me, oh, you are expert in this area, then you can help us to write on this topic. So means when you become internationally recognized, journals know your profile, then one of the benefits you can get invitation. And once you got invitation, 100% guarantee that paper should be accepted because they are by invitation. Once you submit, they will accept. No, doesn't matter how long, because they trust on you. Of course, you will write a good paper. Then also you become the examiner, internationally master PhD students. You become the examiner of the many international proposals. So this one can only be possible when you are writing the paper that are your own contribution. You can get a lot of international research grants, international collaboration. You can invite it as a speaker. You can be the guest editor of the journals. You have to be, so there are the several benefits you can get once you are writing the good paper and you are writing in a good journals also. So now we have to move to the next topic. This is just the motivation why you want to publish. Publication is not by force. Publication should be by your own personal interest. Of course, your supervisor maybe, or any professor or the university has the specific limitation. You write to 1 paper or 2 paper per year. If you just follow that limitations, means you just follow you are going to fulfill the criteria, but you did not have any motivation. Once you have motivation, you have to write more than that number. So now we have to move to the literature review. What means by literature review? So when we want to publish as a literature review, we have to ask several questions by ourselves. Just think, oh, what is the literature review? Just think in a simple way in your mind. Oh, what is the literature review? If you are already writing, then you can think, okay, why literature review is important? Where to conduct literature review? When to conduct literature review? What is the purpose of literature? So all these things, all these questions, one, you have the answer. So it means that is now you have the already motivations. Now you are ready to write a review paper or also any research paper, because for the research paper, the criteria is different, because for a research paper, you should have to have the good methodology. Once you have a good methodology, then you can only write the research paper. But the review paper, you need nothing. You just need only the motivation and also the time. Two factors are important. Okay. So when we talk about to write a review, so we have to understand what is the review paper. So why we are writing is one thing, what is it? So when you are writing a review paper, you have to read these several papers. After that, you have to improve the knowledge. Once you have the knowledge, as a new student, still you have to read the paper to improve or to become expert in that area. So then what you have to do, you have to be the very compact. You have to look into what is the current progress in that specific area. And once you have the current progress, then you analyze the data that you are already collected based on the recent informations. So you should have the critical analysis, you have the discussions, comparative analysis, and then based on that, you can come up with all of the research questions, why you are doing that job. If, for example, if you are the PhD students, when you are conducting the literature review, after the literature review, you should come up with your search questions. If you did not, still if you completed your literature review, but still you are thinking, oh, what I have to do, or what is my research goal, or what I have to do, what is my novelty. So it means your synthesis and reorganization of the data, or your interpretation of the data, or critical discussion is not good. You just can copy paste from the other papers. So then we can, if you want to define, so means this the literature review is actually nothing. Just you have to understand other researchers' work. You have to critically analyze their data as a segment of the published body. So you already have you just can get the data from the different journals, from different papers. Then you compare their data, and when you can compare your data, you will get a lot of knowledge and also the informations. So once you have you have analyzing their data, immediately you will reach to the point that you have already the research gap. So means when you will compare, because the researchers, when they write paper, they already highlight some of the limitations, some of the benefits, some of the disadvantages. So once you have all such type of informations, so immediately you can come up in your mind several questions. Oh, based on that, you will realize, oh, this is my research gap. Oh, this I can do this job, I can do this job. So means immediately several questions will come into your mind. But this will come only when you have the critical analysis of the published papers. So it means when you are go to the literature review as a student, or any of the lecturer, or any of want to publish a literature review, or want to publish in a high impact factor, first benefit you will get a good knowledge in the field. When you read paper, read again, it will help you to identify the research development and what are the problems in the field. It will also be beneficial to help you to construct your research methodology. Once you have to know the developments, then you have to have the very specific research methodology. Then you can narrow your problem. And once you have to narrow your problem, you can find your research gap. So very good literature review help us to have the long-term study of the interest. So this is very important point you have to make sure. So means long-term study means, if as a PhD students, when you start your research, you have to make sure that research at that novelty sustain at least 5 years. Means you can write, if you can write that paper after 5 years, still the novelty is there, at least minimum 3 years. So sometime what happened when the students start writing their research papers, or doing their experiments, immediately they came to know, oh, that topic at that material at that area, the other researchers already published. So it means your literature review was not a very good. Or you can say you just start your experimental job, or you develop your methodology based on just few number of the papers. So you did not have the comprehensive and good knowledge, and you did not have you did not identify the research development in that area. So this is the major problem of many of the students. They just want to read 1, 2, 3 paper, and immediately they think, oh, this is their research novelty, or this is their research area they want to know. You must have to have a good research background. For that, you should have to write at least 1 review paper, minimum 1 to 2. So now you have to also to be very careful when you are writing a review article. Make sure you are not copying other researchers' work. You are not just going to the construct the literature table, or you are not going to copy the unrelated sources. You cannot going to copy different methods. But at the same time, you can copy table figures from the others, but you are not copying as such, you should have to modify sometime, or you should have to rearrange the construction of the figures, and sometimes you have to properly cite the figures from the other searches. At the same time, you can have to construct your own table. So this is also very, very important. So because if your table construction is not very good, still you are not successful to publish. So later on we will discuss what means by all of these points. So now you can see, if you want to come to summarize what we have discussed. So we have the majorly two type of the literature review, because many of the students think they are the new researches in that area that may be unable to publish. So that justification is to some extent not the acceptable, because when you are going to do the literature, you are going to understand, you are going to analyze the data, you are comparing the results of the different researches, means that is your job to collect some information, so that when you collect some information, that then it means you have to propose some the hypothesis based on your literature. That means that is the job of the new researcher to write a just simple literature review. So mean this one can be done by a new researcher. Just you are entering to the new field, you want to find just a search gap, just write the review paper. Just write a simple literature review. I mean, this is just the standard literature review. The other type is systematic. Systematic can only be written by the expert reviews. Sometimes this is by the invited review. So invited reviews only when you are expert in your area and the journal or editor invite you. And when you write this type of the paper, so they are they can provide you the directions in the future. So means once this systematic review is written by the experts, you can read that review articles, and then you can decide, oh, what is going on in the future and what research is going on, because they have a lot of their own experience. And when they are writing, they can add a lot of their own information by their own. Okay. Now you see, if we want to conclude further, we can say the review can be written when you intend to start a new search area. Means you are looking some search area, you don't know which area you want to start, because there are several areas. Maybe you want to, for example, you have these selected 3, 4, 5 areas, but you are still not sure which area you want to work. So based on that, you have no need to select the randomly. You just go to the literature view, and then based on that, you select which area is more important, on which area you should have to work. So later on, I will explain you how to select the research area also. So good for a new student. So this is very important. Every time I ask my students to publish at least one review paper, but my student published more than one review article. So because once you have a new student, you have the opportunity to, and you have a lot of time to go to a literature review, or you can conduct your literature survey, and based on that, you can come up with some type of the hypothesis. So more beneficial thing is, like in the COVID, we did not have any experimental data. So what we can do, we just can write review paper without any experimental data. We just can summarize the data what already published to in the shape of a review article. For lecturer or this is also very important. When they are the newly students, they just get their jobs, and they want to write the article, they did not have nothing to do, they just can write the review paper. So now you see here, so this is very important and motivational. So every student can write a review article or a research paper. No limit. Everyone can write. Undergraduate students can write once they have the research project. If some universities, they have the research projects, they can write the experimental paper, or they also can write the review paper. So now you see the postgraduate students, of course, they can write the review article. So what I can say, postgraduate students should have to write, mean there should be the review article for all of the postgraduate students. I just give you one example, this motivation for all of you. My PSM students, undergraduate students, the students are on the 6th semester, means they just have in the 6 semesters, they just publish this paper. This is just for motivation. So means they have no knowledge on any experience about the research, but they just approach me, they want to publish a review paper. I said, okay, no problem, you just we can discuss, because they have they are highly motivated. But important is this Ibrahim and Abdullah, they are from the other countries. These are not from the Malaysia. So they are the international students. So you see the international students, and they can have the good motivation, so they can publish in a good journal. Another student might post the research project, undergraduate research project. They also just publish the another paper, the 3.92 SQ1 journal also. So means we can see, don't worry about your data, you just can plan, don't submit in a Scopus journals, don't go to the conference, you target in a at least reasonable journal that should be under the category of the Web of Science, and important is you have the Q1 or Q2. So then more important here is another point, you should have to have the planning of publication. If you did not have any plan, you discuss with your supervisor if you are a student and master or PhD students. So you should have to discuss your supervisor, you make your proper systematic plan, and then you start working on that. For example, if you are working in a first semester, you should have the critical analysis of the literature. Don't go to the lab, don't go to the experimental job, just you can conduct your literature. So once you have the very good literature, you have the basic understanding, you can narrow the research gap, framework of analysis, specific review, hypothesis. Immediately you can convert this data into the conference journal, a book chapter. Usually I never like the conference proceedings or a book chapter unless there is the link with the high quality publication. So this is the example of, for example, this is my student. So this one is he just started his research. So when he just started his search, I asked, okay, you just can go through the literature review, and then when he finishes the first semester, he already have the one paper in a good journal. Then same, I have the another student he is currently now in second semester. He already published in the first semester. Now he is second semester. So he is also publishing the papers in a good journal. So you see, first semester and second semester, you make sure you are going to work on your literature review, systematic literature review. Try to make more than one review paper if possible. But at least you should have to have one review paper in your semester 1 or in semester 2. Although if you have some courses you have to pass through, but still you can, if you are going through the literature review, you should have to have to publish in you select specific topic and then you plan how to publish. Even you can discuss with your supervisors. If supervisor has the good experience, he will guide you nicely and you can be successful to publish. So now one important here is when you are moving to the third semester. In the third semester, no, you have no need to think about your review paper. You can publish a review paper.
Sorry to interrupt. We are getting some comments that the screen is frozen.
Oh, okay. Okay, is it okay now? All of you can see screen?
Yeah, yes, doctor. Yes.
Now is the student's publication agenda. Is it correct?
Yes.
Third semester. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now you can see when you are in the third semester, maybe still you are doing some of the literature review, but third semester you should have to start or you plan your experimental work, and you have to collect some information, some data as you have the preliminary results, and you plan to publish in a conference or a journal paper. But when you are going to plan in a conference, normally it's a go to publish in a conference, but if conference is under the Web of Science. Then the fourth semester, of course, you are moving to the other objectives. So once you are in the fourth semester, crossing third to fourth semester, no more in the low impact factor. You should target as a high impact factor because you already have the good data. So once you have the moving to the, for example, you see my students they are already publishing in the high impact journals. So once you are moving to the fifth semester, so you can have to plan properly about the third and the fourth objective. You have to optimize your data methodology. You are going to end up your experiments. So based on that, now you also have to have the high impact journal publications. So when you are going to end up your objective, so at least you have the final the publication. So that publication may be the combination of the previous publication You can make comparative analysis, and maybe you some type of you have the optimization or anything you can, but you can plan properly so that you can have the more than one publication during your the PhD program. If you are the master program, at least you can plan minimum 2 paper to publish. 2 to 3 paper is easy to publish. Okay, now if we have already planning, we are going to publish. But the problem is everyone want to publish, but how to publish? Where to start? This is the one of the important point everyone asking when you want to publish in a good journal, from where to start? Because every student, what I know, they want to publish, but sometimes they have not enough motivation. And most of the time they did not know the steps, or sometimes they stuck with the data, how they were analyzed. So initially just you can start up with the simple steps. You can find out some of the good journal articles in your area, and then you can read them to improve your understanding first. No need to do any writing, just you can read to understanding that specific area. So then once you have the concept on that specific area, you can go to your sub area of the interest. Make sure if there is not your interest, or maybe you don't know that area, you read more and more until you have your interest on that area. If you still did not have your interest, you have no need to study or work on that area, because it will be quite difficult to complete that task. So once you know that specific sub area, then you have to find the challenges on that area. And then once you have to know the challenges, you have to write up you have to collect some information. And once you have the information, then you can come up with some ideas that you are ready to write the review article. So how you can do? You can start with a proper framework by using the recent published papers. So once you have the framework, you can construct all of your ideas into that framework. You have the clear roadmap, what you are going to do. So once you have this one, you have all of the segments inside the papers are there. Then you can synthesize your material, and then you can in analytical framework. Means here you have the chance to critically analyze your framework. You can add some concept, you can add some new ideas in that your framework, and finally you can add discussion. Once you have the very nice and reasonable discussion, and then you can finally conclude and submit. So this one we will discuss now, how we can do all this job, because it looks like quite simple, but it's not so simple. As a new student, when they are entered to the research area and they have also not experience, sometimes it's not an easy job to do to follow all of these steps. So number one step is just you can collect some of the data depending on the area that what you are interested in. You meet with your supervisor, or you know some the important hot topic in your area, in your country. You want to solve some problems. So if you already have something in your mind, you based on that you start searching some of the papers. So means once you have to collect some of the information from the different sources, from the journal article, maybe from the government documents, books, conference proceeding, because sometimes when you attend the conference, you can also see other searches, what they are doing, in which area they are working. Maybe you got motivation from that. Sometimes you have a seminar within your university, you visit them. Sometimes you follow the most prominent researchers in your area, and then you say, oh, in what area you are working and what type of the problem they are focusing. So means this is the most difficult job, but at the same time, this is easy to select the area. And after that, you have to collect the article. It's quite a simple job. So once you have to select the article, you have selected the topic, you have to go through the literature, you collect maximum data, maximum information. Means what I realized, once students select the topic, they just can download few of the papers, means just 5, 10, 15, or they say this enough. No, you have to download, you have to collect as maximum as possible the published papers. Then you have to segregate them, and after that you can analyze and interpret that data that you already have. Based on that, you can start to write a review paper. So means before you start to write a review article, you should have to follow the several steps. So because the review article is the last job you are going to do. Okay, just I gave you the very good example here, how you can narrow down your research topic. Firstly, number one is general research area of your topic. You should have to know in which area you want to work. For example, you want to work on the greenhouse gas, because usually internationally now the greenhouse gas CO2 is a major problem. Once you know you want to minimize or you want to reduce the level of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, immediately, okay, you have to look into what are the technologies of in that area. As far as you want to work on the wastewater treatment, you want to work on the gas separation, you want to work on the biomass, you want to work on any other renewable technologies, or you want to work on any of the your, depending on your area in which you are working. Firstly, you just select the topic, general topic. So this topic does not mean you already got the novelty or you already got your topic. No, you have to narrow down. For example, if you have selected the wastewater treatment, you should have to go to the technologies of all type of the wastewater treatment technologies to make sure your idea, your concept on all of the technologies. When you read all of the technologies, then you narrow down your scope further. For example, if you selected the adsorption, photo degradation, a membrane, then you select which one you like more. Means if these three technologies are available, which is more sustainable, which is more renewable, which is more practical for the industry, and also which technology is more prominent. Sometimes searchers, when they go through the technologies, they just select randomly, oh, I want to work on this area. Maybe that technology is already outdated. You have no need to follow that one. So means once you select your area, look the papers on that area, then you see what is the research development. So later on this one we will discuss how to know that topic is the hot topic is very good or not. So for example, once you select photo degradation, so then you have to narrow down what type of the degradation you want, which waste, which catalyst, which reactor, and any other information related to that photo degradation. So means now you see you have selected the photo degradation. Once you have selected this specific topic, now you have to go to the new research development in the last 5 years post on that your specific topic. So means you have no need to select topic on the wastewater treatment at the beginning. No, because this wastewater is nothing, because this did not give you any information. Information you want is the photo degradation, and that you have to read the recent last 5 years paper. Start from the 2021, 2022 already papers are there. Once you go through this one, so then you will realize, oh, what are the problems in that area, what are the challenges, and what solution should be there. So the important is you have to increase your interest, you have to increase your understanding on that area before you are going to download the article. You no need to download any article. So far, you are going to improve your basic understanding in that area. Once you are clear, you have the basic understanding, basic definition, you know all of the things. Now you have to start to work on that area, and your interest is there. Then you start to download the literature. So means first is you improve your understanding on specific area, and after that you have to manage your data properly. This is very important. You can manage based on the authors, years, title, types, keywords. So all these one is very important keyword. You have to manage your data. For example, if you download 50 paper or 100 paper or 500 or 1000, how you will manage your data? Maybe among the 500, the 1000 article, maybe only few are related to your topic. Maybe, for example, if you have the 1000 paper, maybe important are only 50 or important are only 100. So it means you have to discard 900 paper. How you can do? You have to properly manage your data. Initially, you have to do the maximum. And maybe you have to manage only the 200, 300 articles. How you can manage? This one we will discuss later on. Firstly, you should have to know how you can download the maximum 1000 paper, for example, in your area, or 500 paper, or depend on your the specific topic. So initial number one step is you can go to the Scopus. You go to the Scopus. The Scopus can give you all of the detailed information. So when you go to the Scopus, you have to go to the documents. So in the document, you will get this domain number 3. So first Scopus number 1. In number 2, you have to go to the document. In the document, you will get the number 3. So in the number 3, you see here is the search document. So now this is your job. You have to search your document here. How you can search? There are the several options here: article, title, abstract, keywords. If you can go down here, you will find many other the options. So if you select all together, it's still okay. You have no need to worry. So once you have here, so for example, I want to use the keywords here, water treatment. As we discussed, we select the area, the water treatment. So now you see, important here is when you are talking about the water treatment is not enough word. If you search here with the water treatment, it will give you the so many articles. So you see, this is in the thousands of the articles. Maybe you have to narrow down your scope here. Maybe you have to change the different keywords, short title, full title of the paper, symbols, names, anything you can add here. Then you can only get your required documents. So when you are going to download all of these papers, you have no need to download all of them, 5,000 or this one, the 50,000 or 58, or this is the more than the million, the 100,000. So means you have to be careful when you are selecting here the keyword, that keyword should be more specific, and you change that keyword so that you can get papers only related to your specific area. So once you have this one, so then you see later on we will see. So once you have this all of the data, then you can download in your computer. Just go to the documents in your folder, and then you download all of the paper with the different keywords. So this one we are going to go with the Scopus. When you add title in the Scopus, maybe you are not going to get all of the paper, because Scopus can cover all of the publishers. So means when you have the several publishers, you will get a lot of the documents. Now you want to narrow down your the search, your search. What you can do, you go to the ACS publication. Once you go to the ACS publication, no, this here you will get only the paper that are published under ACS. So here you see, you can use the different keywords. Then you found several articles that will be very close to your topic, and from here you can download all of the related papers. So means this is another way you can download your paper. But important here is, you are not going to cut all of the paper from here. Only the paper published in ACS publisher. As you know, previously we discussed there are the several publishers, but here you will get only the ACS one. So this is another type of the research domain, that is the Science Direct. So here, when you go to Science Direct, you will get this option. You can use the keyword, author's name, journal, volume, all of these. So once you are going to use this the search engine, you will get the publisher, and that is only Elsevier. So this is maybe where many of you are going to use Science Direct, but important is when you are going to use only Science Direct, you are going to limit your scope to only one publisher. As you know, previously we discussed there are the several publishers. So maybe once you download papers here using the different keywords, for example, you are using the photocatalytic CO2 reduction. This photocatalytic CO2 reduction, when you search here, maybe you found 500 paper. Oh, you will be very happy. Oh, you already download all of the papers, and among 500 paper, or maybe you found only 50 papers are available. So among the 50 papers, oh, you say, oh, you already found your novelty. So this is where the problem now, because here problem is you are searching only the paper published in the Elsevier. Elsevier can give you only the one publisher. There are several 10 type of the publisher. Maybe one you find your search gap. You say this is your novelty or your search gap, but that paper may be already published in other publishers. So means this, when you are using only Elsevier, your search is not enough. You have to go through the other type of the publishers. So then once you select the Elsevier, so as Science Direct, you can find your search. For example, you see here 2021. This one number of article. If you click here, and then you can refine at the button should be at the bottom, you will get only the paper 2021. So if you want to do 2020, 2019, or maybe you can download based on the type of the journals. So there are several options in this area. You can search, and then you can refine your research. But make sure this is only for Elsevier. You are not going to get the paper from the other publishers. That's why I said you must have to have your novelty for the 5 years. Students have the novelty sometime only 1 year or less than that, because they did not search paper in other search engines. Now we have the Google Scholar also. So when you add keywords in the Google Scholars, so you can also get the lot of the papers here. So you still can narrow down the scope here. So one of the another important is the Web of Science. So this Web of Science is very good, one of the best Web of Science. So it can give you the article that are only high quality and that has the impact factor. So it means when you want to publish in an impact factor and in a good journal, you can search through the Web of Science, because the Web of Science can cover all type of the publishers and it can give you some good, reasonable and the authentic papers. If you want to search in a Scopus can give you any type of paper is in the Web of Science or without the Web of Science. So means Scopus is a good, but it's not a very perfect. ACS, of course, is give you the ACS the paper that are almost already good. So similarly, you can go to the all of the other type of the. If you want to go to the Google Scholar, it will also give you all type of the paper from all of the publishers. So now, once you have the data available, now other important question is how to segregate the data. This is very important. So once you have to download 500 paper, how you can segregate? So once you download a paper, you should have to download into the different folders depending on your keywords. For example, you can segregate based on the 2022, 2021, 2020. Maybe you can segregate based on your topic and any other keywords. But you should have to have in a different folders. So then if you want to read what is going on in the recent, you can read 2022. If you want to know 21 or 20, you have easy access, you can read all of them. No, and other important here is you have to separate the review and the technical paper. Don't mix together, because sometimes initially you need the review paper, but when you want to write the technical paper, they will all mix together. So when you are writing the paper, you can easy to know the recent development, you can segregate. You can mix together is not a big problem, but if you want to handle a lot of data, you can separate them. It's easy to manage the data. You can go through the review paper, you can go to the technical paper when you are writing the review paper. Then you can have the data already in the different folders. Usually I use the Endnote because there are the others options also, but usually I prefer Endnote because Endnote has a lot of options. I don't know for others, maybe here, but it's quite user friendly. And it has the connectivity with the Word file, and we can easily update, modify, and there are several other papers. Usually I prefer to read paper through the Endnote because Endnote helped me to segregate paper in the papers in a very short time. Instead, I just found different folders. Maybe I have the 20 folders. I go to the 20 folder, and then I am worried, oh, which paper I want to use, which paper I want to read. So easy, I just can go to the Endnote and can find paper what I want to read. Every time you should have to search paper through the Endnote. This is very also important. You should have to update the article through the Endnote. For example, sometimes you have the paper, but that paper maybe did not have the volume and the page number because it's just recently published and you download. Later on, it has the volume and the paper. This one you can upload through the Endnote. So Endnote can have the option you can upload your data in the Endnote. So you can also select the style of your journal with the help of the Endnote. This is also, you have no need to change the style again and again. Every time you can modify with the help of Endnote. So this is also another example how you can use the Endnote. So just as a few example, because I'm not going to give detailed information about the Endnote because Endnote has so many things to do, but I just can give those few options for you. For example, if you want to, you have the data you already saved in your computer in the different folders, then you can go to this file, this button file. I forgot to explain here. You go to the file, and when you will go to the file, it will ask you to endnote the paper. So means when you go to the file, it will give you the option to export, import. It will give you the option import the paper. So once this gives you the import the paper, you just click that one and then go to the folder. Once you click to that folder, all of these paper should be here. Means you have no need to do nothing. So everything should be automatically from that folder. It will shift to the Endnote. So this is if you have the 500 paper, 1000 paper, you have no need to add one by one. Just you click to the folder, and from the folder automatically they will shift to the Endnote. Once they are in the Endnote, then you can see here there are the several options. It will So one of the benefit when you use this option to shift from, you can upload from the file, you will get here the PDF file. So once you have the PDF file, so means you are already data, you stored your data in the Endnote, and you can, if you have this data in the Endnote, you anytime you can go through here, you can download which journal, which year. So here you can read from the latest to the oldest, and based on the title, based on the author, you can search here different authors. So you see here you have the file, here you the edit. Edit means if you want to edit any of the style of the journal, you can edit. Tools also can help us to edit the journal, the format and the reference style. So means all of this number one, these are the options you can use to modify the style of the citations, and also it can help us to upload, and also it can help us to create the new EndNote library. Number two, you see you have the several options here. If you click this arrow up and down, this will help you to get the rearrange this your number of this data within this the file. So you see here, this one is the another option. So this one you can use to cite your data. So you see, then you have these several here other options. Also you see on this side you have several here. So this one can help you to open this file. If you click this button, this arrow, you can open this file, this PDF file, as you are opening from any folder. So this is, you can say no, once you click this button, easily you can read this file as a PDF file. It will be appear in your whole computer screen. So if you did not have the file, you can click this button, and also you can upload the files to Endnote from the different folders. So we have the several options we can use, we can do with the help of the Endnote. So another you can see here, if I can click here, edit, this edit button here, so it will give me this screen. So this one. So here I can edit the, for example, I am using the journal of CO2 utilization. If I want to change its citation style, I can look here. About this, I can click one by one. So I say the template, the citation, author name, author list, anything I want, I can modify here. This is the option. You can play around this one, and then you can modify the journal style. So you have to do nothing. You have no need to update the style one by one of each paper in your reference list. Just you have to modify from the Endnote, and later on you just have to update, and all of the reference will automatically be updated. So now you have the example here, another example. So once you click this one, it will open this file. It's open there like a normal. So if you click this button, it will help to cite in the Word file. So what I want to highlight here is another. So once you have the different folders, you can make here my group. You see here, my group. This my group means when you click here this button, you will get the different folders. You can make inside the Endnote different folders, and then you can, similar to your computer, inside the Endnote, you can segregate your data based on the any type, means type of the paper, type of the years, and anyway you can rearrange your data. And later on, if you want to read your paper, you just can go to these folders, and from the folder it will appear similar to like this one, same like this. But just you have to open which folder you want to read. So once you have the folder, once you read, okay, for example, you say, oh, this paper, this one is like you want to cite, you read immediately, you just can go to this button, and then you can easily cite. So you have no need to go to anywhere, just read and cite, read and cite. This is how we can save our time using the Endnote. So now we have to, once we have the Endnote, we have the data, we already upload our paper. So the next stage, what we can do, we have to read all of the papers, and then we have to finalize our understanding. So this is once again, we are going to summarize what we have discussed before this. So now this is the stage where we can refine our search. This is the chance where we can refine our search, or we can expand the research topic. So you are already going to read the paper, you already read the many papers. Now you have the chance again, when you realize you are on the wrong track, you can come back, you can refine your topic, you can expand your search topic, go back and then you can collect more papers and then you can refine. The target here is you should have the strong understanding and your area. If you did not have understanding, it means you just have to give more time. You have to go back. You have to expand your research topic. You have to refine your research articles, or you have to refine your the gap of the research. And finally, you should have the final understanding before you're ready for writing a review paper. So, okay. Now we are reached to the point when we have everything, we have the understanding and we are ready to write a review paper. So you should have to write, you have to know what should be inside your review article. So this is almost common for all type of the different disciplines. For example, you should have to have the abstract, you should have the introduction. In that introduction, you should have the research questions, hypothesis, your objective, everything should be in your introduction. Literature review. This literature review is also the part of your the different part of the paper. So literature review is this one. I mean, this is the second part of your review paper. First part you are going to introduce. This means this is just the opening part, introduction. So once you have the introduction, you should have to have the second one, the systematic discussion, analyze, recommendation, conclusion. So all this is the second part of your review article. So now you see these are the all of the items that should to have. Maybe the different disciplines, maybe it can vary, but at least all of you should have to have the minimum informations that should be in your review article. For example, once you are going to start a review article, firstly you should think, you should select what type of the journal or which journal you want to publish. For example, you want to select a Scopus, conference, high impact journal, or which one you want to target. Based on that, you should have to have your literature. You have to, your level should be according to that journal. For example, if you select high impact factor journal, very high impact factor, good publisher, but at the same time, your literature survey or your understanding is very weak. So it means you have to select the journal, and based on that, you have to go back and once again you improve your understanding, and then you can increase the research gap or your novelty to the level of that journal. Easiest method is read the paper to which journal you want to submit. For example, if you want to write the review paper in any journal, you have to read paper to that specific journal, then you can only start writing. So then you have the title is also very, very important. If you want to publish, your title should be very impressive, something new. Abstract, this is very important. So means first three, if first three you select properly, so means 20% job is already completed. Means if you have your title is new, your abstract is very, very good. Your selection of the journal is very good. So it means no editor has no chance to reject your paper because you already reached to that minimum level of the novelty. So then these two also included to the first. So means we can see the first five, it reflect the overall the presentation of the paper. Then this table of content is you can say the 20 to 30% contribution is the 20 to 30% minimum. 20 to 30% is the contribution of the table of content. If you construct a good table of content, you means if this part you did nothing, here you did nothing, but you already secured 50% of the paper that it should be published. So means you did nothing so far. But this is just based on your novelty, your understanding, your knowledge, and that area. You construct this until number 6. Now we are going to write the review paper starting from the introduction. So introduction, objective, all this count is the 50%. So you see, so means this 50%, you are going to reach to the novelty. So means this is the body of the review that you have to consider only 50%. Novelty and other things is the 50%. So means you can see the writing a paper is very easy job. Just you have to contribute 50%. The next 50%, this one depends. If you are not good enough, in the first 50%, you can get help from your supervisor, other senior researchers, or the people working on that area, so that you can have the minimum of this novelty aspects. because these things help you to publish in a good journal. Then 50% you have to go to do your efforts. So means this first 50% maybe is just your time consuming, because you are developing your interest, you are going to find the research gap, you are reading a lot of the papers. The second 50% is a time consuming because you are writing several things. You have to write introduction, objective, body of the review, and everything. So means if any of the part is missing, you are unsuccessful to publish. So this should be, you have to keep in your mind. Now, where to start? So as we discussed before this, you should have to take time. Don't be hurry. You take time to collect a proper papers, review paper or the research paper. So means if you are writing a review article, you have to write several research paper, not the review paper, because you have to collect the information from the published research article, not the review article. If you are just copying data from the review article, there should be no novelty or new contribution, because you are just going to duplicate the other searcher's work. You take your enough time to collect the proper research papers, then you can, based on this one, you can construct your table of content. That is very, very important. So means these two steps are very critical to give you the novelty. Then this step number 3 and 4, this is important also because this one gives you the quality of your paper and the overall, the structure of your paper and the discussion, critical analysis, comparative analysis. You should have to have the enough number of the figures and the tables, new figures, new tables. So this one we will discuss one by one. So this is just means you are going to be very, you have the several papers, you have a lot of data. You should have to narrow down to the single point. So once you reach to the single point, then you can only, you are successful to closest to your search gap or closest to your search path. For example, if you are at the middle here, if you are at the middle and you start writing here, oh, I can write here the several paper. I already found the research gap. I already read a lot of article. I already narrowed down my problem. It means your literature review is not complete because you did not go through the different publishers. Maybe you just are going to read only the Elsevier paper, or maybe you are going to read only some other journal papers. So means you should have to be here. Once you reach to this point, it means this novelty will sustain maybe minimum of the 5 years. Maybe 5 years or more than 5 years. So mean this is very, very important point. Now, once you have already narrowed down your information or your topic, no, sorry. So what you have to do, once you have enough depth in your knowledge, then you have to start writing. So once you are going to start writing, write in a simple way, easiest way. Don't think you are a good writer or your English is very good or very, very bad, because everyone cannot have the very good writing skills. But what you can do, just start writing in a simple sentences, easy to understand. Must you have the clear contents what you are writing. So it means you have the explanation should be in your own writing. You cannot copy from other researchers' writing and then you can say, oh, I can publish. No, you have your own simple style writing, easy sentences. When you have these two, it means you already have your own writing style. This is very important. Sometimes the student copy others, they rearrange the sentences, rearrange the structures. So once they do this one, everything becomes struck because they just miss. They are in between the two different type of the languages. So mean they did not have any unique writing style because every researchers, every have their own way of writing. So once you have that one, then you can have to go to construct some of the figures and add some innovative idea to your figures. Then you can have to use if you're using some scientific terminology, just properly explain them. Don't leave them as alone. Because when you are writing review paper, you should have to know what are your ideas. Maybe they are the new researchers, they are not expert in your area, and they want to understand each and every sentence what you are writing there. So what is this? The very important, you should have to follow the journal format and guidelines, because sometimes the rejection of the paper is from here. You did not follow the specific the guideline from the journals. You just can start writing without thinking. And once your paper is ready, you want to try in a different journals. Once you rejected, you want to submit in a non-scopus. So that is not true. You have to follow the format. And important is you thoroughly proofread. So what my opinion, when my students get ready paper, so in my opinion, that is the first day of starting to improve the paper. So once the paper is ready from the students and from my side, that is the first draft to ready to improve the quality now. So means one student sent to me to paper, I didn't submit. Means after that, we start improving. Of course, we discussed before to that, to ready that draft. But once students send me the final draft is ready for submission, from me, that is the first draft I have to improve. So that's why you have to proofread, to look into the weaknesses, the problem, formatting, so that you can improve the quality to publish in a high impact journals. So no, this is very important. Maybe you can follow, you did not follow, but this is just the what, and sometimes we follow few of them, sometimes we follow the several steps. So where you have to start, step number 1, you should have to select a journal where you want to submit your paper. This is very important. So once you select this one, then you select the title of your paper, then you can construct a table of content. This is the number 3. The 3 is the point you should have to do. Once you completed your step number 1, then you can, easy job is you can construct a literature tables. Means just you can have the comparative analysis, you read different papers, and you have the different comparative analysis. So you can just key in a table, so that you are reading your literature review, you are reading the different papers, at the same time you are constructing your tables. So this can also be done when you are reading the paper from the other journals. Means during that time when you are reading, you are improving or getting data in your area, at that time you can also construct your literature table. So this is possibility is when you are not enough knowledge, but still you can construct your literature table. So based on this one, when you have the literature table, then you can easily make a comparative analysis. So then you can have this one, you can write the introduction, body of the literature, article, and then you can introduce the figures and the new figures. So this is very important. Step number 3. So introduction, the body of the review article, and the figures, this all you can work together. That means firstly you can write introduction, then your body, then the figures. You mean this one you can work together. If you feel introduction is not complete, you fed up, you don't know what to write, you can go to the other part of your review paper, and you start to write to construct some new figure based on what you have learned in that area. So once you have all these information, then you can come up to the future directions and conclusions based on what you have done in the step number 3. So once you have the step number 4, then step number 5, you can write the abstract. So you have no need to write the abstract at the initial point. Abstract at the final stage. Abstract, keywords, highlights, graphical abstract, and revise the title based on the latest information. Because here you have the title. Here is you have the title. Maybe you can revise the title again. If you feel, oh, you now have the more good idea, you can revise this title is possible. Even for the experimental paper, review paper, you can revise your title. Once you have this information, you can go to the cover letter. That is very important. And sometimes the list of the reviewers are also important, because a editor can select one of them or 2 of them from your list. But it's not necessarily every time they will select from your list. But cover letter is also very important, where you should write what is your novelty, because sometimes your cover letter is not proper, so the paper is rejected based on the cover letter. So once you have everything, then you prepare for submission, check finally, and then you can make ready for submission. So now I have few examples for you that you can follow. So once your paper is published, you have to be very happy, because you can see your paper in this format. So if you want to publish, for example, in every publisher have their own format. For example, Elsevier, there the name of the journal is here. Then the cover page is this side, and then you have the title of the paper. Then you have the author's name. Then you have the affiliation. You can add 1 or more if this depend on where you are working. So number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4, number 5. So means this all will appear immediately as at the same place at the front page of the journal. So usually I like this one because I like here everything is nicely and then looking good. And this also reflect on the quality of your title also, because this is your face now, because your name is there. Other searchers have to read your paper. If your paper is not good, not well formatting, not good title, so mean this is your face reflection. If your face is good, people will read your paper. So no, this is another example of the Elsevier publishers. So different journals are there. So I said the different style of the publications. So in the Elsevier journals, they have the journal's name there. Then you have the the title. Then they have the author's name, and they did not they show the affiliations here. Means they just put at the end of the paper. Then they can put graphical abstract here. So number 3 abstract. So means this looks like this one. This is another style of the once your paper is published, it looks like this one. Now the important is how to write the title and the keywords. Because every time when you are going to write the title should be very specific. So it should be, it can provide the new ideas, it can reflect the new keywords. It should be the very specific, general to specific. It can help to give the solutions of some problems. So it can have some challenges to solutions, synthesis to applications. So means some of them should be inside your title. I just can give example here. So you see, for example, in this paper. So here we are using some keywords, for example, light and heat. This keyword is the new. Photothermal reactor is the key new and no one has published. So means these 2 keywords help us to publish this paper in a very high impact journal, because no one has published paper based on these 2 new keywords. So based on these 2 new keywords, we can say this paper is new. Other keywords, research, developments, understanding, others may be commonly available, but these 2 keywords are new. Means at least you have some new keywords, so that when the editors read your title, they impress with your title, and then immediately it can go for under review. Similarly, when you are writing the keywords of your because the paper has the title and the keyword. So this keyword should be, some of the keywords should come from the title. So means the selection of the keywords are very critical and should come some of them from the title, and also it can provide the information so that when someone can put that keywords in to search the paper, your paper should be on the number 1st. So this is how we can narrow down our scope and our novelty. For example, you see here in this one, this one, once this paper was published, there was the keyword was the visible light responsive. So this was the new keywords. So this hydrocarbon fuel was also the new keywords. So some keywords were the new, so that this paper can be easily published. So then once you have this title, immediately some of the keywords should be in the title. For example, visible light responsive. Some keywords should be new and some keywords should be from the title in your keywords. So this is another example. So in this one, you can see in this title, there is no name of the review. Means in the journal name, there's no review. Just highlighted here is the advances. So in this one here, you see the word is already critical review. So it means sometimes you can write the words review in your title. Sometimes you can find alternative word to add up in your review article. So for example, here this critical review is at the beginning of the title. Sometimes you can say this is not at the beginning. That is just, for example, a review. Means you write your title and this one is the review. So now you see here, in this case, a review of direct Z scheme photo catalyst. So means this one is, now you see, this is very simple, very easy title. But if you look into the persons who are writing this one, so this is also in a very good journal. If you look into the authors are very special person. They are very expert in this area. So most probably, if the professors are like this one, they are very famous in this area. So means the journals invite them to write the review paper on this type of the topic. So means this is very general, but if you read this paper, they should be very good and very interesting. So mean this is not written by the new student, but this one is written by the experts. Same here. You see here, this is very the general topic. So it is also written by some of the experts in that area. So means just depend on the type of the title. So if the title is very general, not very specific, so means that is written by the experts. So they want to cover each and everything in that area. So now you see, this is no very specific title. You see here, a short review. So this is a very specific title, but this is also written by the expert. So means this is the professor who written this one. This is also expert. So sometimes you can also write the review paper like this one. Means you can cover from the, for example, if in your area work is started from the 1990 until 2022. So you can cover here all of the data, what has been published from the different years. So this is like you can say this type of the papers, just is like the collection of the data. That they were just want to summarize what has been done over all these years. So this is the possibility of this type of the data you can publish, but sometimes it's not quite easy to publish because this one is just the collection of the data, and this is very hard to make a comparative analysis because there should be several articles published in these few years. Okay, now the next is when you are going to write a table of content. This is the one of the heart of your paper. If your table of content is new, in my opinion, your paper will be published in a very high impact journal. So this is one of the criteria if you want to publish in a very high impact journal. Your table of content should be new and very specific. So it means you have to be very specific, and the novel approach in your table of content, you should provide new ideas, new systematic approach. It can reflect new ways of your literature. Every researchers have their own way of writing a literature. It should be broader to the very specific solution of the problems. It should provide some strategies in the recent developments, finding gaps and solutions, provide new informations, synthesis of the applications, conclusions, future directions. So all these things from where you can get when you can have the read several articles, and then you read, come up to the point of where is your novelty point. So then you have to keep all of these points when you are writing a table of content. So sometimes the table of content also can match with the title and the keywords. So means when you are writing a table of content, and after that you can get some keywords from the table of content, to the keywords. So you see here, this is one of the example. If you want to write a review article, so you see here, this one is just the how you can recycle CO2 into renewable fuels. Here you are just discussing the challenges and what should be the future perspective. So this is one of the possibility. You can construct your review article, and every time when you have the table of content should have the section and subsections. This is similar to the book chapter. So means once you have the book, this is review article. You think you are writing a book. Book has the chapters, and every chapters there are the subsections. For example, this is the section number 2 is the chapter 1 of the book. Section number 3 another chapter, and inside every chapter there is an independent theory, independent discussion. So means every section they have the connectivity among all of the chapters, all of the sections, but at the same time they should sustain as an independent sections. So then you can start from the simple, from the basic information or basic knowledge, and then you reach to the highest level or the highest novelty point, and until you can go to the recommendation. So this, when you are going to recommend, you have to recommend based on your own personal knowledge and what you have read here. If you just can duplicate what has been written in your section 2, 3, and 4, and your recommendation is similar, so it means your literature table or the knowledge is not enough. Because this recommendation, in future, this recommendation should be your topic of study. So means this is your search gap. This recommendation you are going to recommend to the others, but in fact, this is your research topic you are going to study. But you are not going to tell, oh, you are working on this area, but this is your search area. But for others, this is the recommendation, but for you, this is your search work, what you want to do. So this is another example. You see here, this is the This one is the very general topic, but there's no the name of the review article, just the general article, but this is also written as a single author. So if you are writing your paper as a single, you are very expert in that area, you are a very good researcher. If you are writing single author paper, that means you have the very good expertise. So this is one of the very famous professor from the Japan. So this paper is very good. It's a few pages, but it's very good and very informative. And what is important in this paper, for example, this professor cite almost all of his own papers, because all of these discussions are available only in his own papers. So that's why when you become expert, when you have the good research paper, technical paper, you are expert in that area, you can cite your own paper. There is no limit, because in that area you are the expert, you can cite your paper. This is another example of the chemical review. You have the title should match with the table of content. So this journal so far, I think this one had impact factor. I think this had the impact factor greater than 60. I think 60 something. So 60 impact factor is very, very high impact factor, but it can be published once you have the proper and detailed and systematic table of content, where you have the strong knowledge in that specific area. So this title is very simple and easy, but if you look into the table of content, they are giving a lot of the informations. So now once you have your everything is there, now you want to write your abstract. So you see the abstract is we are going to write at the end. So abstract, when you're going to write, it can reflect your background, a topic of discussion. What are the challenges and the way forward? What are the specific to the general objective of your title? You can construct the body of the abstract in relation of your table of content. It's very important. So means what you are writing, what you are going to giving in the table of content, you follow same pattern and you can easily write the abstract. So you can also use the specific terminologies, you can use the specific keywords that can reflect the new theories, new method, and new discussion. If all of these things are not available in your abstract, it means an editor will reject your paper without sending to the reviewers. So this is the example of some of the keywords. So you see, this is for example, this paper, it should start from the background. So means first part of your review should have to start from the background. After that, you have to develop the story. What is happening actually means after background, what is development in that specific area. So when you build this specific theory based on the background, so you have to connect this background with the theory. So once you develop the theory development, then there is a need to write this review paper, then you tell what is the objective of this review paper. So once you have to tell the objective, this objective, you can follow the table of content. This is what you are going to write, because you are in the table of content, you are already telling you will do this one. And finally, you can give the future directions, what should be the benefit to write this review paper once you have the everything. So the length of the abstract is any number. For example, sub-journals, they say 150 words, some say 200, and it can be 300. Some journals said it more than 300, but normally 200 to 250 is a reasonable the words, so you can use. If you use more than 300 or more than 250, sometimes it's not looking nice, and it means just the information is just the unnecessary there. So now you see, this is the same example, another. So you have to have the background problem. You have to construct, development, the theory, objective, then conclusion, and the future recommendation. So all these 4 and 5 components should be there in your abstract if you want to publish your paper. If your paper is very good, but if the abstract is not good, sometimes the reviewer editor just reject the paper because he read the abstract and he did not find anything new. So based on that, he just reject the paper. So this is another example. You see, all of the paper, they are going to follow the same pattern. Even you are working in any area, you should have to have the 5 to 6 items in your abstract. So introduction is important, but sometimes if your introduction is not very good, still okay, because later on reviewers can ask, you can improve your introduction. Introduction is acceptable. So it means you can have the introduction, the few paragraphs. So once you are writing the few paragraph, so every paragraph should cover the few information. For example, first paragraph should cover background. Then the second paragraph can build the theory of the development in that specific topic. So once you have the development, 2 to 4th paragraph, so you can highlight all of what's going on, what should be in your review article. Then finally, you can narrow your scope, and then you highlight what should be missing in the other published paper. And if you can also write one paragraph, what type of the review articles are published in that area and what the gap is available. And finally, you can come up with your objective. So objective should be very specific based on your table of content and also based on your title. So this is the example. For example, you have this is the first paragraph. So this all these things are there. So you just can make the theory. You see the first paragraph, just you can easily write the background. Last paragraph is very important because this last paragraph will give you the novelty of the paper. So novelty, if you want to read the novelty of any paper, you can read the introduction, the last paragraph. So means you have to be careful when you are writing the last paragraph of the novelty. For example, as a reviewer, when I want to review any of the paper, number one step, what I did, I read the title, abstract, and then I read the last paragraph of the objective, actually what they want to propose. If I found something is new, then I can make my interest and I read carefully. If I did not find anything new, just I write few comments and reject that paper. So means there is nothing in that article that I have to review carefully. I have to be careful to give the revisions. So then I don't want to waste my lot of time. So this is another example of you have the first paragraph and the last paragraph. So you see here, the last paragraph is only few lines. If you found the paper like this one, the objectives are only few lines, don't follow, because this is written by one of the expert on that area. He has no need to tell a lot of things, what is the novelty, because if this professor is writing, his writing itself is a novelty because he is already expert in that area. So that's why you have to be careful when you read the papers. Sometimes the papers are written by the experts. They don't want to write many things in there to explain their novelty. So after that, you see here, we have the discussion and comparative analysis. You should have to be careful when you have the discussion and the comparative analysis. So you should be very careful. You have the very specific discussion. Every section and subsection should be discussed critically. You can compare the data, analyze the data. You should discuss what are the challenges in that area and what are the solutions. So every paragraph should have its own independency, its opening, its body, its ending. So the table and figures are very important here. You must have to have the very good figure and table when you are writing a review paper if you want to get published. So then you should have to have the systematic development of the materials, methods, challenges. So this all comes up when you have the very good literature review and you come up with a systematic discussion. So this is the example. For example, if you have to have this figure, this one you make a new figure and you copy from the figure, you should have to systematically discuss this figure. For example, if you have figure A and B, you should discuss here carefully what is written in figure A and figure B. You cannot just say, oh, this is the figure 4, that's end up. No, you have to make comparative analysis of that figure. So that's sometime, once you copy figure from the others, you have to get the permission from that one. So means you can, for example, this figure A, you can get from the one of the paper. So figure B, you can copy from other, figure C, figure D, all of you have getting from the different journals. Then you can cite them independently. For example, 176, 185, any number of the paper, you can cite in one figure, depending on from where you are using or getting that figures. Then once you are going to submit your paper, before or after, you have to get permission from that journal. If you are submitting paper to the same journal and figures are from the same publisher, then you have no need to get permission. For example, if you are going to submit an ACS, and this information you are getting also from the ACS, you have no need to get any permission. If you are using the Elsevier and the papers are also from the Elsevier, you have no need to get any permission. So if you are going to construct your own figures, then you have no need to write any reference. So just you have no need to get any permission, and also you have no need to cite any reference. If you copy figure from any other paper, you should have to cite reference. But if you have your own figure, you no need to cite any reference. So then this is another important what should be in the table. So I have to be speed up to end up this one. So once you have the table, you see you should have to have the very specific information. You should have the materials, methods, so recent papers. So this is the example. You should have to have the very nice construction of your table. So once you have the table, you should have to discuss that table nicely. So means you just cannot end up you can construct the table. You have to discuss the comparative summary of this table, the critical analysis, discussion. Then you can conclude actually what is happening in that area. So this is one of these few examples. So what table it should be good and bad. For example, if you have you construct table like this one, this is also a table, but this is not a very good and constructed table. You should have in one table, you can include the several type of the information. You can see here, you have the several informations. Same here, you see in this table, you can construct in another way, but you can include the different type of the information. So you see, this is another pattern of the table, but you can include the several type of the information. So to make the more constructive and more comparative analysis of the different data. So once you are going to discuss the table, you should make the different type of the sentences. For example, there are a number of the main approaches. There are the oldest to the newest techniques, another technique. So means you can use the proper sentences when you are going to discuss any of the figure or tables. So this is another how you are going to construct the figures. I just can give you a few examples here. So let's see. One is the example here. This figure has no problem. This figure is correct, but it's not very attractive. So means when you publish in a good journal, you have to make figure more constructive. Same information is here. So this information is same. Just this one is the explanation, bit more explanation of this figure has been added here. So means here they added some more steps based on this one. So this figure become a little bit more attractive and more informative. This is another example. This is the figure. If you add this figure to your paper, immediately it will be rejected because this figure cannot give you a lot of information. Every time you try to make more than one figure, like figure A, B, and C, and you can add more relating information into the figure. Although all these things should be discussed in the text inside the manuscript, but you have to also highlight as in the figures. This is another example. If you have this figure, paper will be rejected. If you have nice like this one, you can publish in a good journal. So means you are doing nothing, just selection of the figures, and you are going to arrange the figures. This is also very important if you want to publish in a good journal. This is another example. So these all examples I am telling what I have experienced with in the past few years with the different the students. So means if students send me this figure, I say no, we have to modify this one, then we come up with this new figure. Okay, sometimes you have to add your new figure so that you can impress to the reviewers. You are very expert in that area and you know the lot of knowledge, and then you can introduce new figures. So every time preference is you can add few new figures based on your own knowledge or based on your literature that are very useful. So this is, for example, the new figures. So then finally you can, when you want to construct the body of the literature, you should have to have the topic and the subtopics. So this is when you are going to come up with the conclusions. After the conclusion, you should come up with your research gap. Because if you did not have the research gap, it means your hypothesis is not complete and you have to go back and you have to review again. So this is these references style. You must follow some are the number style, and some are the name style. So you have to follow which one you want to use. So this is how you can come up with the structure. Finally, you can come up with the skeleton of your paper, and then you can complete your paper and then can submit. So now I just can, if we have some time, so I just can recap what we have discussed. So you see here, you just have to follow the conventional review paper because you are not the expert, and then you have to follow all of the 10 to 12 steps what we have discussed. And then immediately you have to get some tips of your writing. So number one, why we write. Number two, who are our audience? We are writing for what? What is the clarifying idea? You should have to be careful. Attractive title. You should have the attractive table of content. You should have the deadline for you have should follow, you make some deadline before you start writing. You cannot think you will write in 2 years, 1 year, you make a deadline, and then once you have the deadline, you can write. So you just write what you have the experience. So you can construct everything based on your own knowledge, and then you make one deadline, you make deadline from the different sections. So you also make sure, okay, why people will read my paper. So what is the new strength and the weaknesses of my paper? So this one is the who is the paper for this paper you're writing for what is the new idea behind your paper, what is the what is inside your paper that will make different from the others. So how you can make offer this paper is unique, so other searchers should read your paper. So these are all the important points you should have to know. So then once you have know, or you have still not very clear, you can attend some of the writing workshops, you can proofread, you can draw some new figures, you can combine some figures, finally you can format your paper. So this one, you must have your paper in the different sections and different chapters, and every chapter have their own novelty also. Not only you just can have the few sections, and every section is important when you are writing your paper. So the one of the important here is, so I just have to have the important is avoid too many self-citations. If you are expert reviewer, you are working with your supervisor, don't cite so many citations by your own papers. So you avoid to copy and paste data from the others. So you should have to avoid so many things, the terminology, scientific. Sometimes you are not very clear, you can discuss with others. Sometimes you are explaining something maybe that is scientifically not correct. So then once you have already there, then you should have to now select the journal, what is the way to publish. Okay. So you should have to, you see the book chapter is the lowest level, then you conference, non-index journal, then you have the index journal. So every time you target to highest the level, difficulty level, quality, that is the index journal. So then you have the different selection criteria based on the discipline, the accessibility, indexing, and the speed of the reviewing. If you want to publish in a very fast journal, you can select the rapid publication journals. So then you have to select the database, you can select the Scopus or the Web of Science. So the more important is the quality, you want to cover the quality or you want to cover the coverage. So when you want the quality, you should have to have the Web of Science. In a Web of Science, you select the good publisher and high impact factor. So normally we have the 4 type of the impact factor, Q1, 2, 3, and 4. So top 25% journals, they have the 25%, Q2 is around 50, 75 to 100. So means if your paper published in Q1, it means you are among the top 25% researchers. So now you can see, do you already have the different steps, how you are ready to going to select the journals. So then I just can have highlighted some of the links. You can use all of the links when you are going to select your journal. You see here, you have the Web of Science. So for example, if you can put the name of your journal in Web of Science, so you can check the quality of, for example, you want to check if you write here the name of the journal in the journal citation report, you will select the impact factor, and also you will check the quality or rank of the journal. So here you can see the rank is the Q1, the number 1, and also the Q1. So this number 1 is among the journals in that area. This is the rank, this is the Q1. So this is the how you can identify. More important thing is you should have to go through the citations or the performance of that journals. So you see the citations of these journals are going to increase. You should select this journal. Another important point is the country. You see the China is the main contributor to this journal in the Chinese Academy of Science. So means if you want to get to more citations, the very hot research topic, you select the area in which most of the Chinese are working, because they are working on, they're publishing a lot of the papers. So you see this, then you can, also you can go through the recent articles, most downloaded, and among that you can select your area, means in which area you are working. So when you select that most cited article, then you will see what is the recent development and where you want to publish, is your topic is suitable or not. So this is another some selection categories you can use based on the years, based on the Q1, Q2, and Q3. You can segregate the data. So this is the So now I have just few minutes more just to give more information here. You see, if you want to select the topic photocatalytic CO2 reductions, so here you just put here the title. So you want to know, you want to work in this area. CO2 reduction is the nice area or not. Just put here the title here in the journal citation report, and immediately you can come up with the number one, analyze the results. You see, you can get a lot of data, 6,510, analyze the results, and then you have to also get the number of years. Once you can click the button to analyze the result, you see here. You see in this area, these are the journals in this keyword. These are the journals in which the papers are mostly publishing. So means the material science multidisciplinary. This one is so this is the journal in which the mostly papers are publishing. So once you know these are the journals, so it means you can go to that journal, then you see the quality of that journals. You see this topic keywords give these journals. Specifically, you have no need to go to the journals. If you want to see, this is the hot area, you see CO2 reduction, the publications are going to increase over this year. So mean this is very, very hot topic. You should select this one, and similarly on your area, you select, you will get immediately a lot of citations. Similarly, you see here, over these years, the publications are going to increase. So it means this reflects, this is the hot area in your hot topic in your area. Similarly, you see here, you can see here by the name of the author, you see, if your name, you found the name as you will be very happy because you are then be among the top researchers. So this one, similarly, you can go to the this option, you can select. So other is you can select the scopus, and then the scopus seems right the same title, you will find the different, and from that you will analyze again. This is the hot topic and many researchers are publishing. Now, finally, I just want to tell you, these are the major journal section tools. If your paper is ready for submission and you want to submit, just go to the journal finder for the journal finder from this Elsevier, put your title here and your abstract here, keywords here. It will give you, looks like this one, and it will give you the journal that are more closest to your area. If you found that topic, a journal is closest to your, then you select that journal and then you can submit. Similarly, you can find the other, then you can have to. So now once you are ready, you must have to checklist. You have to have the checklist, then your paper is ready for submission. So actually there are several things still I think I am unable to cover. So I think I had to stop here. So thank you so much because we have the time over. So anything you want to ask? So this is some example of the code journals. So this is for example, you have the catalysis B. So you can select another journals, some reasons for the rejections. So if you got correction, you have to be happy. If you got rejection, no need to worry. Rejection does not mean your paper is not a good quality. So mean this is the beginning of your research. Hopefully in next time you will get published. So this is, you must have to means a level of the high impact means you should, does not mean you immediately you can publish in a very high impact journals. Just improve your quality of the work, and gradually if you are publishing in the conference, you move up to the gradually and immediately in short time, you will start publishing in a high impact journals. So that's all from my side. Thank you so much, all of you, for your attention.
Thank you so much, Doctor, for this great seminar. It was very informative and well presented. Thank you so much for your time. We definitely benefited from this. To all the graduate students and research assistants and the faculty members, thank you also for your time for attending. So we'll just take maybe 2 questions before we close the seminar. We have 2 hand raised. So can you please go ahead, Mr. Hussein?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Muhammad, for
your voice is not clear, Mr. Hussein. I'm not sure if it's clear to Dr. Muhammad.
It's not clear for me also.
Yeah, can you please, could you please raise your voice, Mr. Hussein?
Now is better?
Yeah, okay.
Hello?
Okay, continues.
Hello?
Okay.
Yes, please go ahead.
Fine. Thank you, Dr. Muhammad, for this such full of information session. My question is, or I have actually, it's one question that consists of like points. How much is enough when it comes to the number of papers on the certain field or topic, and whether to source the related papers from all journals and conferences, or sticking to only the high quality ones? Because at the end, it is the research endeavor that is going on different levels, and you need to identify what is going on even in the let's say low level conferences. Am I right, or there is another point of view here?
Yes, okay, thank you so much for your question. Yes, I agree with you. So one thing is very important. If you want to publish in a high impact journal and a good quality journal, you have to read the paper, high quality papers. So you can read the paper, conferences, everything. You can read to get what is going on. But if you want to publish in high quality, high impact journal, you have to read the same level of the papers. For example, if you want to read the conference paper, most of the data in the conference paper is not correct, and maybe not reliable. So if you get information from that papers, maybe the level of the discussion is not correct. So you can read paper, you can get ideas, but finally you have to, and I recommend don't use side papers, opus, and conference in your paper, because in your article, in UV article, if you just cite the conference paper or the Scopus one, it will reduce the quality of your paper. This is your answer?
Yeah, this answers the other point. The first point is, how much is enough in terms of number of papers?
Okay. I just gave you a very good example. We recently just published one paper in around 14 impact factor. So instructions from the journals were, you cannot write more than 70 paper. So your maximum limit should be 70. So means it's depend on the type of the journals. Means 70 the articles, and then is limited number of the pages. So means some journals are very open. Maybe you can write 150, 200, 250. But some journals are very limited in scope. So that's why before you are writing to specific journal, you read their guidelines, and then you see, is there any specific limitations, or they're open? If they're open, then you can write any number, maybe 1,000. For example, ACS chemical review, the impact factor is 60. Sometimes they cite 2,000, 1,500. They can write the side paper like that.
Yeah. Okay, then what about the minimum number of papers?
Minimum, okay, if minimum number, you should have the more than 100. Minimum means you should have enough data.
I get that.
So you don't means like follow means I will write side 60. No, as a new researcher, you should have the more than 100. 100, 150 is reasonable number.
100 or 150.
Yeah.
You cannot, for example, go with 50, 60 papers.
50 is not enough. 50 means you did not have enough literature review.
I got that. Even if the scope is very focused.
Yeah.
And
yes. If you got, okay. So, if no papers available, then 50 enough. If no paper available in your area, then 50 more than enough.
I get that. Thank you, Doctor.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time and your knowledge.
Thank you so much. We'll take the last question from Mr. Qasim.
Doctor, thank you for the informative session. I just have one simple question. Like for us, student, what is the credible source to look for any journal impact factor?
Actually, I skipped that part due to the limited of time, because there was I already prepared some slides to explain that one. But easiest that you just can go to I already said the journal citation, the Web of Science, or you can go to the Scopus, then just give the name of your journals, then you will get the lot of information about your area. Because sometimes if you want to write in a high impact factor, so maybe your paper is not to that level, so then you have no need to be submit in a very high impact factor. Means depending on your level of the paper. Sometimes you have to look to the list of your references. Means in your references, you already cite several articles. So you can select one of the journal from there. For example, one journal you cited 5 times, 10 times. So you select that one that is more suitable to your area. But if data is not a high impact factor, then you can select another one. For example, in my case, I usually did not select from the references list or from the anywhere, because I just select based on my own experience. Or usually I had sometime I am the reviewer of the several journals. Usually I just select like that. But for if you did not have the experience, then you can select based on the reference list. And sometimes you can go to the journal finder, means the paper is suitable to be journal. I think you got is it your answer?
Yeah, so what you said is like Web of Science and Scopus is where I can find the impact
Yeah,
factor.
where you can find, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So thank you so much, Dr. Muhammad, once again for this seminar. We just wanted to note a small thing. There was a time maybe for a few minutes where the screen froze. So a lot of students were asking if it's possible to share the presentation so they can follow with the recording later on our YouTube channel. If this is okay with you, Doctor.
Okay,
if not,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, it's okay. Well, I will share.
Okay, thank you so much. So the doctor will share the slides and we will share the recording from our side so you can follow up and again revisit the seminar whenever you want. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your time, everyone. We will see you soon. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bas.